We are back with our sponsors today from the Duncan Firm, and Phillip Duncan is here today. We're going to talk a little bit about the opioid crisis, which we hear a lot about, but maybe we don't really understand. And you've done a lot of research on this. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here. Yes, I've looked at it. I have. It came on my radar when I started seeing some lawsuits about it. And just became interested in what are these lawsuits about?
Right.
And because the law generally will seek a remedy to society problems, and this is a society problem. And as I began to look at it, what I found out is something that makes common sense. Opioids are really heroin, and it is a drug, a controlled substance, and it began to be developed and utilized as a pain management tool, and it got out of hand.
How did it become such the problem that it is today?
Well, the opioids are synthetic, manufactured heroin, and it's legal to dispense it under a Controlled Substance Act. And most states, in fact, all of them would have it as a controlled substance. And as a controlled substance, then it can be sold and abused. And what happened is manufacturers of the synthetic drugs began to market this and repurpose it from a controlled substance to almost like it was candy. It could just be dispensed and used like aspirin to a certain extent. And in order to do this, they needed credible sources, and they hired credible names. And I'm not saying this person, he's not involved at all, but to give you an example, like Dr. Oz. If you had Dr. Oz and could hire Dr. Oz and have him become your spokesman. They hired doctors that were spokesmen and high-profile people, reputable to come out and to endorse this, not only to the communities and in the paper, but on the streets in terms of down to even knowing the doctors' schedules and how to get the doctors who are the family practitioners. They're not scientists out to research. They're taking care of people. And so actually, it was deception and fraud, and that's what those lawsuits are about, deception and fraud, a marketing scheme to cause Americans, ordinary citizens, like Citizen Kane's and grandmothers and teenagers, to not be afraid of this and to take it as long-term pain management, not like for 2 or 3 days, because it's very addictive and becomes addictive very quickly, and there's billions of dollars that was on the line.
You say we should all care about this problem. Why? If we're not addicted, we don't have any family members addicted, why should we all care as a society?
Well, one thing that the statistics are showing is almost all families, or extended families, especially if you say friends, are affected by this, and it's becoming known where it wasn't known before. And in the process of this, it affects our entire community. It's a society problem. It's become an epidemic. And by that, what I mean is our hospitals, our health system, our police force, our emergency systems, because the death toll for this has risen. Arkansas is in the top 20%. It's been proclaimed as a national epidemic.
Right.
Also on a state level, it affects our, really it boils down to these manufacturers went out and took control almost of a portion of our funds. The police, the 911, the hospitals, the rescue, the responders to the public safety.
Right.
We expend money, huge amounts of money, and the statistics show that it's measured in hundreds of millions of dollars over a period of time for the states. So it's become a huge problem on society that we have to deal with, we have to pay for, and we have to live with.
Right. It's costing all of us money and
Right.
certainly hurting our society. So you guys are there at Duncan Law Firm to help people if they have any questions about this or really any legal matters, right?
Well, yes, but the issue about opioids is such a society problem. Even, our mayor, Mark Stoda, is co-chair of a national task force on this. And so it affects our city, and it's been recognized as affecting our city as well as the other cities and counties in our state.
It's going to take everybody getting involved.
It takes everybody getting
to
involved.
solve this or just to make it better. All right, we want to remind everybody, of course, about the Duncan Firm right there on Shackelford here in Little Rock. If you have any legal problems and you need help, you need advice, of course, their number is always open to you if you need a lawyer to help represent you. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. We appreciate you coming in today. All right, back in just a moment. Up next, it's a Sunday pizza party with Michael and Ari. He's ready for game.